Hello, YouTube. Welcome back. This is Adventure 5 of Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, Sins of Our Elders, aka Hidden Figures, D&D style. First of all, just to be clear, there is a festival in this story. It is used as a hook, the Dan Now Bountiful Harvest Festival, but I will say there's no description of it, so it does not feature prominently. I think they just expect the DM to go ahead and make up the details of it, so it's not prominent, but it is there. So your players will be happy to know that the hair of the dog will be in play. They can just go from the last party to this one and keep that buzz going. So yes, this adventure does not have many men in a good light in it. In fact, one is sort of the villain. This is basically a ghost story. It involves a woman named Dai Wan Ha, who was a magistrate in the city of Yonido, and she was a magistrate who apparently did a great job, but over the years received no credit because it was stolen by the queen's brother, Yong Hee, who made sure to cut her out of any of the mentions and goodwill and put it on his sister, the queen. Which I guess if you're a government employee, you're ultimately serving the government. So, as Don Draper said, that's what the money's for. So yes, it involves the spirit of Dai Wan Ha, who died unappreciated. Came back as a Gui Shin, which is essentially just a ghost who's been haunting the city for a little while now. This is a fairly straightforward adventure. Of course, you've come to expect it when they describe the city of Yonido. Of course, we get the first thing they say is the merchants are embezzling government funds, which I think when you embezzle, you're embezzling your own entities' funds. So I'm not sure how merchants could be embezzling government funds. They may be stealing them, but I'm not sure they're embezzling them. But I don't think that distinction means much to the folks who wrote this adventure. And of course, the city planners are expanding into the forest with no care for sustainability. Yes, they are worried about sustainability in this area, in this time. Don't ask. And the nobility, of course, are hogging all of the resources, as they are wont to do. So there is, as I said, this is kind of an Asian ghost story, maybe Chinese, Korean. There's no kung fu in this. There's no crouching tiger, hidden dragon, and nothing cool like that. In fact, I bet if you were to ask about that on Twitter, you'd be in the middle of an auto-da-fe right now, as they would be screaming about the stereotypes. But those stereotypes might have added a little bit of fun to this adventure. It's just a little bit dreary than this whole thing. It's not aggressively bad like the last one, but it is bad. So the players will arrive in Yonido, and they are, as you will find in many of these types of adventures, immediately attacked. They will arrive, and then a fog will roll in, and they are attacked by gargoyles. And when they defeat them and kind of ask around the citizens who are nearby what happened, the citizens have no memory of it. So this fog, obviously, your players are going to put 2 and 2 together and realize there's something going on here, something supernatural. It's at that point the players run across Kun On Jun, the magistrate for this area, and I believe it's a she, but they will use they as their pronouns, and their flaw is, and I quote, "I have to check to reassure myself that my work has been done right, even if I just checked." So they're giving her a mental illness of obsessive compulsive disorder, which I guess is fine, but it's just kind of so typical. So typical to be proud of the mental illnesses here. I'm surprised they don't make you state that flaw out in the open. So yes, Kun On Jun will set the players on the path towards solving the mystery. I'm gonna call Kun she, because looks like a woman to me. Yeah, so she kind of sends the players, off to a tea shop where a spirit has been seen lately. And when they talk to the owner, he will kind of give up the fact that one of his best customers from back in the day was Dai Won Ha, an old magistrate who died. It is kind of forgotten, but her teacup is still there, and it glows whenever you mention her name. So that's obviously going to pique the adventurer's curiosity. They will then go to a construction site that's overseen by Huang Young Soon, who's a woman. I don't know. Are we to assume that she's an embezzler? If we read the description, she would be. Of course, they don't mention that here, not in the least. But when you are visiting the construction site run by Huang Young Soon, you will be attacked by 4 tigers. It's kind of odd, they talk about sustainability of forests, and then they kind of make the players slaughter 4, I think what they would call in real life, majestic beasts. But yes, you must beat these tigers. And when you do, your prize will be finding the grave of the old magistrate Dai Won Ha. And there you'll find a lantern that glows, I think, whenever you mention her name. So I think it's pretty well assumed that the players are going to help themselves to that. So now they got a teacup, they got a lantern. Then if they follow the clues, they're going to end up at the brother of the old queen who died, the uncle of the new queen, I guess, Young He, who was the one who stripped Dai Won Ha of all of her accomplishments back in the day. So he is a dragonborn. When the players talk to him, they find him to be, ultimately penitent and very sad for what he did. In fact, he's holding on to an amulet that I believe belonged to Dai Won Ha. So eventually, this is, of course, pointing to a showdown with the ghost of Dai Won Ha, a Guishin. I mean, they call it a Guishin to make it sound exotic, but there's no special stat line for it. At least none that I could see. It just looks like a standard ghost stat line. So, yep. When you're facing off against the spirit, if you've acquired all of these artifacts and you can kind of talk down the ghost, you can take care of business without getting your hands dirty and without any combat. So I guess that's the goal. And I think as a change of pace, that would be fine. But it seems like a lot of these adventures, there's always not just a way to resolve it without combat. I think you're going to default into resolving a lot of these through these first 5 adventures without combat. So the big boss battle is a big fizzle. So what is my impressions of this adventure? It's kind of a standard ghost story. It's actually not terrible. It's kind of standard. It's not really good because there's nothing real original here. It's like that old saying, I found your adventure original and good, but the parts that were good were not original. And the parts that were original were not good. What little of them there were. So yeah, it's basically just a quest to go gather up 3 artifacts and then confront the ghost. Pretty standard. In this book, that'll do, I guess. So maybe a good DM could take this ball and run with it. I will praise the artwork. It's still not quite my style, but it is leagues better than the one from the prior adventure. Leagues better. So that's about all I have for this one. So I will cut it off here. If you like the video, I'm just starting out. You know the drill. Hit the like button. If you're feeling extra kind, hit the subscribe button to catch the next one. I'll be going through all of these, I think, which is probably not the best idea for my mental health, but we don't whine about that on this side. So I will talk to you later. Until we meet again. Bye.